Texas versus Arizona State, the preview. Chris, I'll go ahead and start us off here with Texas. Look, they were able to out-physical Clemson last week, which a few years ago you would have thought would have probably been impossible the way Clemson was playing. That wasn't the case last week, though. So, look, the stats that stood out to me was Quintravian Wisner and Jaden Blue. They combined for 287 total yards and 4 touchdowns in that game. In a season that we talk about, it started in the offseason, like right before the season started, with when Texas lost 2 of their top running backs, whatever have you, to injury, and they just looked really, really banged up, like they were going to have to put more on Quinn Ewers. Speaking of him, I thought he had a good game, but they really didn't need him a whole lot in that game because of how they were able to run the football and be able to use that game script to their advantage. Clemson made a push late in that game to try to come back, just ran out of steam and time, so it didn't really matter. The thing that I'm the most impressed with Texas this year, Chris, is their defense. Okay, their defense, I think, has taken some serious steps forward, in a year where I thought they were going to lose a lot of their best parts of their defense from the year prior. So that's a great job for them to be able to reload and retool on their part. They were able to shut down Clemson on third down, forcing them to go 3 of 12, which I think is the most important stat from that game. Why I think all this matters is, Texas has bent but not broken all year on defense. They might let you get some yardage here, get some yardage there, but they really don't give up a whole hell of a lot. Now, I understand the general consensus is going to be, well, who have they played that's had like a top offense all year long? You might make that argument, but they've still done what they've needed to do in those games, I've thought, pretty well. Look, Cam Scatterbo, when you're going to talk about him, he's going to, be the focal point of this offense. If they can sort of stop him and not let him get any momentum, I think they've got a really good shot here. We know Jordan Tyson, they're Arizona State's top leading receiver. He's done for the year from what I've seen. So Scatterbo's got to be the guy you're going to have to limit in this game. So we'll see what Texas can do. I like them in this matchup. We'll see what that equates to here in a minute. Tell me a little more about the Sun Devils here, Chris.
Yeah, Arizona State, I'll tell you what, you want to talk about a team with a hell of a season out of nowhere. They're 11-2, obviously got the bye, which is huge. But this team was finished to pick dead last in the Big 12 to start the year. So pretty remarkable season there. We know they won the Big 12, so hats off to Arizona State there. And their 2 losses this year came to Texas Tech in Week 4 and in Cincinnati in Week 7. That was a long time ago, so they've been on a roll. As far as the offense goes, Arizona State averages 33.1 points per game, which is 30th best in the country, And they're led by their quarterback, Sam Levitt. This kid's been pretty good, man. He won the starting job in the beginning of the year and really hasn't looked back. He's got over 2,500 yards on the season, 24 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions, so pretty good stats there. And one thing Levitt can do, man, Duke can run. He's got 97 carries to go along with 383 yards on the ground and 5 touchdowns. We talk about him a lot. Everybody's favorite player, Bo Scatterbo. This dude is a stud, an absolute bowling ball back there. 263 carries for over 1,500 yards for this guy. He's got 19 touchdowns, which is a ton. He averages over 6 yards per carry. Not only that, Kick can kind of catch the ball out of the backfield as well. He's got 37 catches for over 500 yards. He's their big weapon here. This will be huge for the Texas defense, whether they can shut him down. I know everybody's been talking about this matchup. But you mentioned it here as far as the wide receiver position goes for Arizona State. Yeah, no Jordan Tyson. He's out. He's done. So Xavier Gilroy is going to have to step up on the outside here. And I think he can. He's a pretty decent player, but that's a big loss for Arizona State. As far as their defense goes for the Sun Devils, it's been pretty solid, man. A defense that was really bad last year. They only given up 21.3 points per game this season. That ranks 30th in the country as well. And they really don't have one stud on that defense side of the ball. Pretty much just a group effort back there. And I wouldn't say that Arizona State is probably some elite defense, but they've done what they've needed to do the entire season and pretty much relied on their offense to put up points. So my keys to the game here, though, Christian, man, going into this one, I don't know if you've seen the spread, but Texas is favored by 2 touchdowns here. So that's pretty significant. And the big question, I just alluded to it as well a minute ago, can Arizona State run the football here? I mean, not A&M, but the Longhorns defense is very, very good. They're very stout. They're a top 5 defense across the board in almost any statistical category that you look at. The other side of the ball you alluded to as well, the playmakers of Texas, they got a ton of them. I mean, Texas has got a ton of weapons. And in my opinion here, and this is just my opinion, you let me know down in the comments whether I'm wrong, and I'm sure you will. I'd like to see you try. Arizona State's going to have to play a perfect game here to stay in this one. I mean, they really are. They're going to have to play the best game. This is the best team they've seen all year. They're going to have to play a perfect game to keep this one close. As far as my prediction goes, look, I'm not as high on Texas as most people this season, but they got quite the advantage here on both sides of the ball, in my opinion. I got Texas 38, Arizona State 17.
Similar sentiments here, Chris. I got Texas 38, Arizona State 21.